Ladies and gentlemen, Tati Avanti, and welcome to a ship review. Now today we are going to be taking a look at the Freelancer MIS. A few days ago we did take a look at the Freelancer MAX, we got the dirt to go, and we're going to take a look around. And the first thing I actually want to say is just to wish my little nephew Harry a happy birthday yesterday. Hope he had a nice day, we went out for a meal, and yeah, let's get on with the ship review. Right. First off, pretty obvious the colour. I actually really like it. It's probably one of the first ships I've seen that is all one colour like this, other than the little racers and so on. I actually really like this. I prefer it in the silver. Either this or black. I'm still yet to see a black ship inside of Star Citizen. For the very main reason, it's just going to be harder to see when you're in space. This sort of dark green, the military green, it just looks really smooth, doesn't it? I like the fact that it's actually a matted colour as well, not sort of shiny. Just makes it look a lot nicer. Now what you will notice compared to the other Freelancer series is the front end. And clearly it's no way as wide as the Max. You can see it's quite narrow. And it's got these little ball things on the front as well, so you can tell the difference between the two of them quite easily. But very, very narrow. If you remember, the Freelancer Max was as wide as it was long. This is definitely not the case with this one. It's definitely longer than it is wide. And clearly it's got some good firepower as well, but we'll take a look around. Maybe we should go and have a look on the light side, probably a better idea, isn't it? Yeah, once again, really like the paint scheme. Looks really nice. Four of these in total. 2 hard points, but 4 guns. And these Gatling guns are awesome. Must admit. Definitely motivates you to get something like a MIS if you're interested in decent firepower. We'll fire them off later as well when we go for a little bit of a flight. See how we get on with them. Does look very military, doesn't it? Sort of all these rounded edges. It looks very nice. I suppose the green would probably help if you're on a planet with lots of trees. I suppose if you landed in, you know, embed yourself in the trees somewhere, might be a little bit harder to see from the space or atmosphere. Let's look at these. Pretty decent, aren't they? I did notice something, for some unknown reason. The landing legs don't come down. In landing mode, weird, isn't it? It just sort of lands on these. Maybe it's a bug. Guessing it is a bug because it just looks like it's sitting very, very low. They don't seem to attract it. Extend at the moment. If you remember, if you watched my previous video, you remember that the Freelancer Max, they actually extend out when you go into landing mode. At the moment, because they don't extend, it does cause a little bit of an issue because of this little tailpiece there. So when you try and land, even if there's a small rock there, you do struggle. I did try and land on one of these pads, not that one there, but on the smaller ones. Struggled a little bit. Engines are absolutely awesome. Now you can see clearly the difference between this and the previous Freelancers, and that is the engine housing is not encased. Now I'm guessing to reduce the IR output, you'll probably notice that pretty much the majority of the Star Citizen ships that advertise a low IR point, they cover the engine shell, and they normally cover some of the rear exhaust as well, if you can call it that, or the rear engine, to try and reduce down that IR detection. But with the MIS, doesn't really seem to be the case, does it? I suppose you probably wouldn't be too bothered if they saw you coming. If you've got a decent bit of firepower. The engines look absolutely awesome, don't they? Got some little LEDs down here as well. Did notice them on the other ship. Can carry cargo in this as well. I mean, you could have this as your only ship inside of Star Citizen in the PTU for the next, year to 2 years. You can make money with it, but it's just going to be a bit of a slower journey. Clearly, the big advantage here is if you want to do sort of drug runs, and make the most money, then you've got a decent amount of firepower to get in and get out and not blow up, basically. And if you're in the Freelancer Max, if you've got a bit of a crew with you and good gunners, you could still do it as well. All depending on how many people there, I guess. Let's take a look inside. There are some similar things, I would say, to the previous ones, and you can first off see that the door is literally half the size. Don't worry about that, they'll load in. Now I did put some cargo in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the lights on. We're going to show you some things. Yeah, I did try this before. Someone said you can do it. I did mess around with it. Oh, there we go. Not sure if that actually... No. No major issue. Be handy if you could do it from there, wouldn't it? Just put it in flight ready, eh? You're bouncing around a bit, but we should be alright. Just to get the lights on. Here we are. Cargo's in. It's going to be a bit of a pain getting the cargo in. I know the cargo just appears in the cargo hold, but once again, them things, it all don't make sense, does it? They're in the way. How would you get that top box up there? You have to do some weird... lift the bottom one up and then slide the bottom in. This is a bit concerning. I have these handles here. I suppose they've got caps on next. If it is like toxic waste, biohazard, someone comes in and pulls that handle. Yeah, one thing I did notice that is odd. Yeah, you noticed that as well, yes? Now, there is a problem with this. Have you thought about what it could be yet? Well, I'll give you a bit of a hint. Now, what have we got on the wall over here? Oh, so we got modules over here. Shields. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So... big problem, that, isn't it? I think that it can't stay like that. I can't see how it could stay like that. I mean, that means that when you're using this ship and you've got cargo, you're basically stuffed if one of these modules go here. You have to eject your cargo to get to these modules. But the weird thing about it is, if you look here, look, stand there. Now, I know this is hard to measure, isn't it? You know what I mean? Half a metre, maybe? And we'll just stand over here. It looks the same, doesn't it? The red lines, I mean, it's not a lot, is it? If you look at these sort of stripy lines here, you've sort of got, what, an inch, maybe 2 inches if I zoomed in. It might look like an inch from here, but let's just say 1 or 2 inches. On this side, you can see that you lose an inch, and just that 1 inch, and probably that handle, yeah? If we go around this side... theoretically, right, the handle's not there, so maybe... nope. So, anyway. That has got to be a fix. They cannot leave that like that. Because if these become active modules... I mean, you could even argue that when you're opening this door... that is enough room to look at that, isn't it? I mean, how do I get down here? Don't want to fall for the ship here, but you see what I'm getting at. You need to be able to crouch, didn't you? To get down. I don't think you can actually crouch to look at that bottom door while you're in this section. Well, what's the fix? Well, it's not easy, is it? You can't reduce the cargo size because that affects every blooming ship, wouldn't it? I think they've got to make it wider. Or, if you actually look down here, I'm just looking at the thickness between that door and the outer piece of metal. It's quite thick, isn't it? What, 3 or 4 inches? You look over here. They could just plane off, maybe. I don't know. Just take that bezel off or something so you can get in there. Surprised someone didn't actually whack the cargo in there and go, oh, we can't get around that way. Sort of slightly pointless of having the gantry. Anyway, that was my first observation. So 2 little things. Once again, the similar sort of thing we had before with these weird arms and how the hell did that cargo get in here? And you can't get down there to change your modules, so it's going to be changed. I can't see them leaving like that. But you can access all of these ones. It's all fine. These cargo containers look awesome. Is that actually touching the ceiling? Oh, I don't think so. I think that's probably alright. And when you go in here, slightly different room. Guessing this is the missile loader. Actually, probably should say above the door, doesn't it? It says docking. That's not right. That needs changing as well, doesn't it? Because docking's here. You know what I'm going to say, did you? Have you thought about it already? Right, now, I know it doesn't really matter. It's only a game at the end of the day, right? I'm just highlighting some of this stuff. It's not an issue. It's just, you know, observations. That's a big box. That is a small door over there. I feel sorry for the guys that are loading this ship because I have no idea how they managed to get them boxes in this room. But anyway, that's how it makes up the additional cargo from the rear. And I think this is probably more than likely the evolution of cargo units, you know what I mean? The evolution of cargo in Star Citizen from the very start to now, and I don't know, maybe they need to add it into their QC process of when they make these ships. They should QC it with cargo in and make sure that... I'm not so concerned about this. As long as the boxes go in here, it's not the end of the world, is it? It's more to do with just basic access and the side panels. I think they've got to, you know, it's got to be fixed, isn't it? But yeah, loads up in here as well. Doesn't really affect the use of this room. It's all fine. You can still get out the top airlock, so... Probably want a sound animation on there, aren't they? For the first one, well, it's not really the first one, isn't it? Because there's quite a few patches on the PTU, but there's absolutely no complaints with these. If they released every ship as well as these are, I think that we'll all be fine, wouldn't we? Gone are the days of falling through the floor and falling through the ship. There's that weird thing that comes up. I think it's something to do with the mobiGlas. If you've seen my other video on the Max, this is identically the same pretty much. I'm just going to have a double check. This is the coffee thing, isn't it? And that thing there again. Exactly the same toilet. So this is the same same module. This door looks like, I think, is a different colour. I can't remember. Was the other one yellow? Oh, didn't really want to do that, but anyway. Concerning. That could have gone horribly wrong, couldn't it? I do appear to be hovering off the floor. Well, it prevents anyone getting in. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? See, the other ship didn't do that, did it? When you pull the ladder up, let's just do it again, because the door closed. I remember I had to manually close that last time. So this time I'm just going to open the ladder. So when I close that, it obviously only closes the door once you enter the ship via the enter command. Maybe they want to set that to when you close it, you know, when you attract the ladder, that this door closes as well. I don't think it really matters. I don't think that that's going to help, you know, affect oxygen supply, but it might do later on, I guess. And maybe that little panel there is to say if it's safe or not, or depressurization or something. Who knows? But yeah, we've seen this before. Pretty much the same. Same seats as before. We do have the turret, actually. We can go and look at the turret, can't we? Don't know if I should move the ship a little bit, but we're hovering off the floor. We should be okay. Shouldn't affect anything, should it? Oh, this is going to be interesting. Oh, the seat comes down this way, isn't it? Oh, it's going to squash me. Expecting this to be very similar to the previous. Once again, it's very slow moving. Maybe because I don't know why it's not firing. Looks like it's pretty much the same guns anyway, aren't they? Glad there's no one bopping out around here. Yeah, very similar to the previous, isn't it? Have a quick look around as well. Probably need to sort them animations out a little bit inside, don't they? Switch your fire mode. Exit. How does that affect things? Alright, that's the gyro. Okay, that's probably help you aiming, doesn't it? Can't actually change any of that. They probably can actually. I'm not going to spend loads of time. Power off. And exit. There we go. So pretty similar. If you've seen the Max video, if you want to see me firing the guns, just go and check out that Max video. Same thing. It's going to get slightly differently when we get up the front, because obviously the side mounted guns are different as well. A lot of people did comment on that previous video on the Max, some people saying they don't like the... That could have gone horribly wrong. Because they don't like the view out the screen. The reality is pretty much every ship inside of Star Citizen has its issues. Whether it's either view or something else. That's not issues on, you know, Star Citizen's point of view. These are the designs and concepts of the ships. There's never going to be a ship that is perfect in every way, because it becomes overpowered, doesn't it? There will be little quirks and little things on all the ships. I like it because I think it adds a little bit of personality to the ships. Some people are looking for sort of the panacea, you know, the perfect ship. And like I said, there's always little issues with pretty much all the ships. So, the difference between this and the Max, what I've noticed, although the top speed is, I think it's 1045, so it's a little bit faster, like I said, here and all there, the other one's 1005. But what you do get with this is the acceleration time. Oh, it's already put my landing gear up. The acceleration speed is quicker. It's definitely quicker than the Max. So the time to top speed is definitely quicker. You do feel like when you're flying the Max, I would say 0 to 300 is pretty quick, and then it sort of ticks up quite slowly. And don't forget, I'm coming out of sort of atmosphere here. But nippy, yeah? The maneuverability feels very similar. There doesn't seem to be, you know, when I'm flying it, you can see that there's a bit of a turn and there's a bit of weight to it. But that's sort of expected for a ship this size. It's not going to be, you know, flying around like some little racer. You're going to have that slightly sort of slow moving to some extent. So them thrusters look like as well. I'm not going to scroll out a little bit so we can see that. You can see the maneuver thrusters there moving. Quite sizable as well, their maneuver thrusters. It's pretty cool. Jump inside. Right, these guns. Let's give them a go, I guess. So we look towards the floor so we can see. They're so close to each other, the bullets, you barely even tell that there's... You can sort of see that there are multiple streams there, but it's not... It does seem... It's almost like a laser beam, isn't it? There is a spool up time as well, so it's not like... If I press the mouse button now, you've probably got, what do you reckon, 1 or 2 seconds before it starts firing. It's not horrendously bad. If you're going to be leading targets and then you start firing now, you want to probably pre-fire. And that way then, you know, they lead them into the bullets. But, I mean, it's just holding down for a while. Just to give you a bit of an idea. Now, I'm not totally sure if this is a bug or not, but it does seem to fire quite a lot. I don't know if you would agree with me. I'm not going to bore you to death, guys, but this goes on for quite some time. So, and I'm not seeing any issues with... I'm not seeing any heat generated by them that is making them slow down. I'm guessing that maybe that's going to change I don't know, just seems to go on forever. I've never even managed to run out of bullets yet, so interesting one. But then again, I suppose, look, it is a military ship. You sort of expect it to be pretty strong like that anyway. You've got all your missiles and torpedoes and bombs, whatever we want to call them, eh? Big debate on that one, but let's not get into that. It's got loads of them on board as well, so you've got them as well. So overall, look, this is a military ship. You can do cargo runs on it. It has got pretty decent guns. I mean, anything smaller than you're going to tear them apart, let's be honest. I think when the new flight mechanic comes in anyway, I think it is quite hard to outturn a lot of the smaller ships. So your disadvantage at the moment is if you do come across a Hornet, Sabre, or anything small, even the smaller ones that can't really do any massive damage to you, you're going to really struggle, right, following the target like this. And you can see it, there is a little bit of delay in stopping as well. So your disadvantage is manoeuvrability, but the strength is the firepower, so there's a bit of a trade-off there. Now you could argue that if you want to do bounty missions and just do military stuff all the time, you could definitely go and do a AI mission in this and shoot Hornets, AI ones anyway, and Auroras, no problem, you're tearing apart with these guns. And also you can fire off the rockets as well. So all in all, it's a really decent ship, and I imagine a lot of people have bought it as well. Looking at the exterior, I think it's one of the most pleasing colours by far. I would definitely like to see full colours on ships more often, rather than the old blue stripes and orange stripes. This one does look really cool, but the question is military green relevant now? I mean, military green was quite relevant when we were doing tank welfare in green areas. Depending on what area you go to, you change the colour, right? So if you're in the snow, you might go white. Now the argument is if you're a military ship, maybe it should be black. Just throwing it out there for the thought process. We will be able to change skins and colours later on in game, so just thought I'll throw that one out there for a bit of discussion in the comments as well. So that's everything from me. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Fantastic ship, and I think if people out there have got it, let me know what you think about the Gatling guns. Are they going to stay like that, or do you reckon they're going to reduce it down? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.